Hello and welcome to Mimi's Sketchbook. Today my illustration was inspired by Paul David Tripp's book, New Morning Mercies. And today I'm reading the devotions for September 17th. Today in his devotion, Paul Tripp says that we are all dissatisfied with the world the way it is. And boy, can I agree with that when I turn on the TV or the radio and hear what's going on. It's so discouraging. And, I just groan when I hear some things. And that's exactly what Paul Tripp says. He goes, we all groan. And those groanings are cries for a better world. In his introduction, he says, this isn't paradise, and you can't make it into paradise, but paradise is coming, and your place was secured for you on the cross of Jesus Christ. And he goes on to say, God, for your good and his glory, has chosen to keep you for a while in this broken down world. He has chosen to employ the hardships of this world to complete the work he has begun in you. He does not leave you alone. He does not leave you without resources. He blesses you with his new morning mercies. And after I had read this devotion, it just brought to mind a hymn that I love and is very close to my heart. And it's called His Eye is on the Sparrow. I think the first time I heard this song was when I watched a movie called Member of the Wedding. And I have no idea what the movie was about. I don't remember a thing about it. But what stood out was this beautiful, tender scene of these two little kids sitting on Ethel Waters' lap, and she is comforting them, and she is singing this song to them. And it's absolutely a beautiful, beautiful moment. And I'll put that in a link below in the description so you can enjoy it too. But an even deeper association with this song is that it was played and we sang it at my mother's funeral. And I cannot sing this song without crying. So in wanting to know more about the history of this hymn, I went to Wikipedia, and then that led me to this webpage called Hymn Pod, Traditional Hymns Podcast. And it has a write-up about the hymn. And it says, it was written by Sibylla Durfee Martin, a Canadian born 21st August 1869. She married Dr. Walter Martin, an evangelist, and this is her account of the writing of the song. Early in the spring of 1905, my husband and I were sojourning in Elmira, New York. We contracted a deep friendship for a couple by the name of Mr. and Mrs. Doolittle, true saints of God. Mrs. Doolittle had been bedridden for nigh 20 years. Her husband was an incurable cripple who had to propel himself to and from business in a wheelchair. Despite their afflictions, they lived happy Christian lives bringing inspiration and comfort to all who knew them. One day, while we were visiting with the Doolittles, my husband commented on their bright hopefulness and asked them for the secret of it. Mrs. Doolittle's reply was simple. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know he watches me. The beauty of that simple expression of boundless faith gripped the hearts and fired the imagination of Dr. Martin and me. The hymn, His Eye is on the Sparrow, was the outcome of that experience. And I believe that Mrs. Doolittle was referring to Matthew 6:26 that says, "Look at the birds of the air. They neither sow nor reap nor gather into barns, yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not more valuable than they?" After she finished the lyrics, Sevilla sent them to a composer named Charles Gabriel. He lived from 1856 to 1932, and he was a composer and a writer of gospel songs. And Wikipedia says that he wrote between 7,000 and 8,000 hymns, and many of them are still in our contemporary hymnals. I really wanted to share this music with you, and I spent a lot of time on the internet looking for a copy of it that I could download. But copyright laws are very restrictive, and I just didn't find a copy or one that I could purchase. So I was so happy when I ran across this HymnPod website and found it had what called a free download of the music. And I hope it's okay that I use it and that I'm not infringing on anybody's copyrights. And I'm going to read the lyrics of the song to you because they are just so beautiful and uplifting. And I hope I can get through it without crying. So here goes. Why should I feel discouraged? Why should the shadows come? Why should my heart be lonely and long for heaven and home? When Jesus is my portion, my constant friend is he. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know he watches me. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know he watches me. I sing because I'm happy. I sing because I'm free, for his eye is on the sparrow, and I know he watches me. Let not your heart be troubled. His tender word I hear, and resting in his goodness, I lose my doubts and fears. Though by the path he leadeth, but one step I may see, his eye is on the sparrow, and I know he watches me. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know he watches me. I sing because I'm happy. I sing because I'm free, for his eye is on the sparrow, and I know he watches me. Whenever I am tempted, whenever clouds arise, when songs give place to sighing, when hope within me dies, I draw the closer to him. From care he sets me free. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know he watches me. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know he watches me. Just imagine the millions of people that Sevilla Martin's lyrics have given comfort and hope to over the past 100 years. Many contemporary singers have recorded his eye is on the sparrow. And we get caught up in their beautiful renditions of it. But I am so grateful that the Lord led me to look a little deeper into the origins of it, starting with Mr. and Mrs. Doolittle, who lived such happy, joyful lives in the midst of all their trials. And Sevilla Martin, using her talents to turn that inspirational testimony into a song. And I am just realizing another lesson that I've learned from this devotion, and that is the importance of sharing God's faithfulness to us, to others. Who knows where it will lead? Thank you for joining me today at Mimi's Sketchbook. I will put the link to hymn pods below, and it looks like there's quite a few hymns and a little history about each one at that website. You might enjoy going and looking at it and browsing through some of your favorite hymns. I know I plan to. And I will also put the YouTube link to Ethel Waters singing this song. So thank you for joining me today. I hope that this has been an encouragement to you. And if it has, could you please give it a thumbs up? Subscribe to this channel, even share it with someone. And in that way, YouTube will help us to share the good news. So thank you, and God bless.